Hello guys, gals, and non-binary pals, interplanar beings, trans-dimensional travelers, alien life forms, our robot overlords, lizard folk, fallen angels, primates, the living, and the undead. Thank you for tuning into the channel. On today's episode, I'm going to craft a character using the chef feat from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. Don't worry, dearies. We won't need to burden ourselves with rations. We've got a chef in the party. So Tasha's Cauldron of Everything has a feat called the chef feat, and there's been a lot of chatter on the interwebs about making a Lizardfolk chef. So that got my brain thinking. I like really unconventional characters for Dungeons and Dragons. This is one of those feats where it's a combination of a skill proficiency and then you get a little bit of a stat ability increase. There has been a little talk on the internet about making a Lizardfolk chef for a party, which I think makes total sense because that race is all about survival and they will basically eat anything, even each other. So I decided to go ahead and make a character build based on the chef feat. Keep in mind, if you're easily triggered, this is probably not the video for you because this is the kind of character that would like to serve up any of his own party members with the side dish of Chianti and some fava beans. If you are easily triggered, this is not the video for you because in the D&D lore, the lizard folk will eat each other. It's actually kind of part of their culture. Waste not, want not, circle of life. So keep in mind, this is going to be an evil build by human standards, and it's the kind of build who probably would serve up your wizard to the other party members with some fava beans and a glass of Chianti. The lizard folk in Dungeons and Dragons tend to live in swampy areas. Sometimes they'll be aquatic in, say, an ocean. Their basic tenement of life is about survival. And in that circle of life that they belong to, if a member of their tribe passes away, the lizard folk will eat them. Maybe it's part of a ritual. With that in mind, let's not get too uptight because that is the culture of this character, and that's kind of the funny part about building this, is that this character will eat his other fellow party members and serve them up to the rest of the party. With that being said, our race is going to be the lizard folk. This is going to give us an increase to our constitution by 2, and our wisdom will increase by 1. The alignment of most lizard folk is neutral. Ours is going to be neutral evil. Lizard folk are medium size, a base walking speed of 30 feet. They also have an unarmed bite strike, which is 1d6 damage plus the strength modifier. They're a cunning artisan. As part of a short rest, you can harvest bone and hide from a slain beast, construct, dragon, monstrosity, or plant creature of size small or larger to create one of the following items: a shield, a club, a javelin, some darts, or blowgun needles. This is pretty cool. Hunter's lore. A lizard folk gain proficiency with 2 of the following: animal handling, nature, perception, stealth, and survival. The lizard folk are going to have natural armor of 13 plus the dex modifier, and as a bonus action, the lizard folk can throw themselves into a vicious feeding frenzy, and if an attack hits with the jaw, with your bite, it deals its normal damage, but the lizard folk gains temporary hit points equal to the constitution modifier. So this is going to be the race choice of our chef. From that list, I'm going to choose perception and nature. For the background, we're going to choose folk hero. Folk hero is going to give us a set of tools. We're going to choose chef tools, an iron pot, some clothing, which we don't really need. Maybe we'll have a chef's apron and a hat, and 10 gold. We're also going to get 2 more skill choices, and from those we're going to choose survival and animal handling. Our chef is not very charismatic. Think Gordon Ramsay. So we'll need a little bit of help trying to wrangle these animals into the stew pot. Folk hero, I think that just goes perfectly with what we're going for. Of course everyone's going to know who our chef is. Our Lizardman chef is going to be legendary. The Lizardfolk are found in Volo's Guide to Monsters on page 111. Here's a nice illustration of what our chef could look like. Alien minds. The lizard folk's reptilian nature comes through not only in their appearance, but also in how they think and act. Lizard folk experience most feelings as detached descriptions of creatures and situations. That kind of sounds real Hannibal Lecter to me. This is going to be perfect for the chef. Lizard folk never become angry in the way others do, but they act with aggression towards creatures that they could defeat in a fight and that can't be dealt with in some other manner. They are aggressive toward prey they want to eat, creatures that want to harm them, and so on. Uh-oh. At their core, lizard folk view other humanoids with an indifferent verging on pity. Born into a world lacking stout scales and sharp teeth, it's a wonder they have managed to survive for so long. The typical human could barely make it through a day in the swamps. Ooh, the shade is real with that swamp creature. I don't know what you do for a profession, but for several decades I was a bartender. When I was younger, I worked in the clubs, I did some independent gigs, and I also worked in the after-hour party scene. As I got older, I transitioned to restaurants because I could come home a lot earlier than 5 in the morning. And when I worked in restaurants, I noticed the kitchen had 2 types of chefs. The first type of chef was the Zen master. Nothing could faze this guy. The kitchen could blow up, the building next door could crumble, and he would still get his plate of food to the table on time. The other type of chef, and this is the more common type of chef, is a batshit crazy, frenzied, hot, raging monster. So we're going to choose for our chef, Barbarian. For our lizard folk chef build, we're going to take 5 levels of Barbarian, and I'm going to choose our gender is going to be a man, a male lizard folk. So we can say lizard man. We're going to have a male chef. At level 1 of our Barbarian class, we're going to get Raged and Unarmed Defense. We're going to get 2 Rages per day, and we're going to get a damage bonus to that. At first level, our Barbarian is going to get Rage, which is going to allow us to get advantage on strength checks. It's going to allow us to take less damage, and it is going to allow us to do extra damage in our melee attacks. At first level, we're also going to get Unarmed Defense. And before I forget to stat the Lizard Folk chef up, let's go ahead and get those stats knocked out. Using the 27-point build system in the player's handbook, our Lizard Folk chef is going to have a Strength of 14, a Dex of 13, Constitution of 15, Intelligence of 9, Wisdom of 13, and a Charisma of 8. After our lineage bonuses, because we're lizard folk, our constitution is going to be a 17 and our wisdom is going to be a 14. These stats look kind of strange, I know, but we really do need this 13 dex for a future multi-class, and we need a high wisdom for this character. Also, I'm not really a fan of these odd numbers, but this is going to be worked out by level 4, because when we choose the chef feat, we also get to add 1 to either our Constitution or Wisdom. So that's going to bump our Constitution up to an 18 by level 4. At 2nd level, we're going to get Reckless Attack and Danger Sense. At 3rd level, we're going to get our Primal Path. And for this, we're going to choose Berserker. Now, I know for the people who like to optimize these builds, the Path of Berserker really isn't the best. And mechanically, I agree. But thematically, it's perfect for a chef. Because at 3rd level, we're going to get Frenzy. So starting at 3rd level, when you choose this path, you can go into a frenzy when you rage. If you do so, for the duration of your rage, you can make a single melee weapon attack as a bonus action on each of your turns after this one. When your rage ends, you suffer 1 level of exhaustion, which is pretty crappy. But this is like the old Berserker was when it first came out, so we'll just deal with it. But that extra bonus attack is really going to help out deal a lot of damage for our character build. At 4th level, we're going to get an ability score improvement, and this is where we're going to choose the Chef feat. At 5th level, we're going to get an extra attack. Our proficiency bonus is going to be increased by 1. We're going to have 3 rages now at this point instead of just 2. Our rage damage is still going to be +2, and we get a bonus of 10 to our movement. Perfect. At this point now, we're going to cross over into Rogue. Why are we crossing over into Rogue? Because at 3rd level, we get to take Assassin, which means if we get the drop on our opponent, we not only have advantage on the attack, but we score a critical hit. And you can use any weapon, and it's all the attacks that we get to use. You don't believe me? Have a look at page 97. Better yet, I'll read it to you. You have advantage on attack rolls against any creature that hasn't taken a turn in combat yet. In addition, any hit you score against a creature that is surprised is a critical hit. So if we get the drop on a creature, we have surprise. Coming at you with a Barbarian Great Axe and an advantage of an attack. Whatever we want to eat for dinner that night, it's going to happen with this. We're going to choose Assassin, which means if we get the drop on our opponent, we have an instant critical hit. It does not have to be a finesse weapon. It does not say anywhere in this book it has to be a finesse weapon. Okay, so let's break everything down, and I'm going to demonstrate how this all stacks up. So because we are a 5th level barbarian, we get 2 attacks per attack action, and then we can go into a frenzy and get a bonus attack action. So that is going to give us 3 attacks. If we use a Great Axe, that is a d12 worth of damage, and then we add 2 for our strength modifier, and then we add another 2 for our rage modifier because we are a 5th level barbarian. And if we get the first jump on our opponent, all of this damage is doubled. That's a lot of damage. Whatever this character wants to eat, they can sneak up and get the first attack. That's what they're putting in that stew pot. Taking the rogue path is also going to give us expertise, which is going to help out with our new skill of chef, thieves' cant, which is going to allow us to speak in a code language, and a sneak attack. At 1st level as a rogue, we get to choose 2 of our skill proficiencies or 1 of our skill proficiencies and our proficiency with thieves tools. These proficiency bonuses are then doubled for any ability check you make that uses either of the chosen proficiencies. So since we're a chef, we're going to become an expertise in cooking. We'll also get cunning action, which is going to allow us to disengage from an enemy, dash, or hide as a bonus action. And at 3rd level, when we become an assassin, we're going to learn how to work with poisons, and we're also going to learn how to use a disguise kit, which to me is completely ludicrous and absolutely campy. What are we going to dress up like? A troglodyte? The next part of the build is going to get really interesting, and you'll understand why I added so much to wisdom. The next 2 levels, we're going to take our cleric. We're going to go for a nature cleric build. This is going to allow us to get spells to charm and befriend animals, to bring them closer to us for the quick, clean kill with our assassin ability. Also, being a cleric makes a lot of sense because you get spells like purify food and water, create water, detect poison. We're not really building this character to be a heal bot. We're going to use the nature domain to get things like animal friendship and to be able to speak to animals to bring them closer to us. We're a chef. We're not really focusing on being a hunter, but we need to go out there and hunt our meat. we like free-range organic stuff, right? So we need to go out and hunt our meat. It's a lot more tricky to bring the prey to you for a quick, clean kill with that assassin build. And then we can spend all of our time cooking it up. After we finish the 2 levels of Nature Cleric so we can charm the animals, see why I chose Neutral Evil as our alignment? The next 2 levels we're going to take after Nature Cleric are going to be back to Barbarian. We're going to take level 6 is going to give us a Mindless Rage, and at level 7 we're going to get Feral, which gives us an advantage on initiative. This is going to pair with Assassin really well. If you notice in our build we don't have a lot of dex, we're building up our Constitution. This is why we're not really using a lot of dex. The character we're building right now is designed to be a tough as nails, evil, fine chef who will eat anything. They need a good Constitution, and that's coming up next. So at this point, our character is equivalent to a 12th level character. So what are we going to do now? We're going to take the next straight up series of levels is going to be all rogue. This is going to give us uncanny dodge, another expertise, evasion, couple ability score improvements and feats. So at this point, our Lizardman chef is equivalent to a 12th level character. So from levels 12 to 20, we're going to take all rogue. The final stop for our rogue is going to be an 11th level rogue, which is going to give us a reliable talent, which essentially gives us the take 10 option, meaning we can always take a take 10 when we use our chef feat. So by level 20, our Lizardman chef will have reached the pinnacle of his talent. But before that, let's go ahead and break down what we're going to do between here and there. At the next step, we will be a Rogue 4, which is going to give us an ability score improvement. And for this, we are going to choose mobility. We've got an extra 10 feet of movement from the Barbarian, so this feat is going to give us another 10 feet of movement. So right now, our Lizardman can run 50 feet. That's as fast as a warg. The reason why I'm choosing this is because of our own human evolution. The reason why we've done so well is that we've learned how to cook food, which alters the chemistry of the meat and allows us to develop a nice brain. And also, we aren't the fastest of predators, but we can eventually injure and wear down our prey, which has allowed us to catch food. So I'm going to take that concept and kick it up a couple notches. Our Lizardman is going to be super fast. If he doesn't successfully charm the prey with his Nature Cleric abilities, and maybe he does maybe he even does charm the prey and gets that critical hit in, but the wildebeest is still stumbling off and hasn't died yet, our Lizardman's going to be able to chase up there and take care of business. The next level gives us uncanny dodge for being a rogue. Then we get another expertise, and then after that we get an ability score improvement or a feat. And for this, I'm going to add 2 to our strength, which is going to give us a 16 strength. At level 18, we get infiltration expertise. At level 19, we get an ability score improvement. And for this, I'm going to improve my Constitution. I'm going to add another 2 to our ability score, which means we're going to be a really tough cookie. And finally, level 20, using all the rogue, we get our reliable talent. Our Lizardman chef, even if he is hungover and having a bad day and cooking up a meal and he rolls a natural 1 and fumbles, it magically changes to a 10. And he's going to make a really delicious wildebeest salad. And he's going to make a really delicious wildebeest tartare. There you go. There is the Lizardman chef. I think this build is great. I really can't wait to run this character. Enjoy. Have a good one. Thank you for tuning in. And don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and all that kind of junk.